You have no idea the amount of ignorance we're about to get into right now.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What's up?
All right, guys, we're back. This is episode 148 for Blindspotting. This is starring Daveed Diggs and Rafael Casal, directed by Carlos Lopez Estrada. The story of two friends, as one of them, Daveed Diggs, is in his last 3 days of his probation and trying to get his life together after being in jail for 6 months and then being on probation for a year. So, Terrence, you saw this movie ahead of time. You were raving about this, and you really wanted us to do this movie. So I'll let you go first, and then we'll go around.
It's great. That's why I wanted to do it. It's
not a 1 out of 5.
I hate white people. Yeah. I get on my motherfucking nerves. But no, this movie should have been nominated for something this year, I think, and apparently a lot of other people think so too.
What category would you put it in?
Best Picture.
All right.
Yeah. Me personally, I've seen it 3 times now, and I'm still not tired of it. Performances were great. Like the subject matter, all of it that it tackled it really well. The directing was a little. You can tell he had some Spike Lee-esque. Who was the director? You can tell he was that was his muse, if you will, because there were some scenes where I'm like, yeah, that seems really that's a little outlandish. It's very bizarre.
No, no loud jazz music playing.
Nah, there were no dolly shots. Especially the one in the we'll go over it, but the one in the beauty parlor. I was like, that's kind of weird.
It felt very much like school days.
Right. Yeah. But I dug it. Overall, look, it's a 5 out of 5 for me. That's why I wanted to do it, and it's going to bring up a good conversation because it covers so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like this movie.
Micah?
This is what a music video director should be doing, because this is his first feature film, and he got his claim to fame from music videos.
Do they do those anymore?
Huh?
Do they do music videos?
I'm sure somebody in the
He did the last one.
I'm sure somebody in the middle of the country still watches The Box, so they.
Wow. I guess. I saw one the other day. I was like, that is a great music video. Yeah. Anyway,
I think I've seen that one.
This movie's great, and I'm really sad that I didn't watch it sooner. I love this movie. This movie is. I love the performance. I love how things are handled. There's like tension when there needs to be tension, but there's not I usually don't like films that are like a day, or in this case, 3.5 days in the life of something.
Yeah.
But because I find that they generally don't have a story, because most people's days are
not that interesting.
Boring,
right? Exactly.
But no, this is really good, man. This is really, really good, and I highly recommend people go see this. I wish we had done this sooner, man. This is a hell of a movie. Daveed Diggs, this guy's a star, man. This guy's a star, in my opinion. And he's one of those guys that's got like a ton of fucking talent too. Like, it's not just acting. Like, he wrote this movie along with his co-star.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, I love it. 5 out of 5. This is wonderful. No matter what stupid film critics from San Diego say.
Well, I'm gonna go in a different direction. Give it a 6 out of 5. No, I really thought this was excellent. I thank you for recommending this. This should be on way more people's radar.
Yeah, right.
I think this. I would agree with you. I would have liked to see this in the Best Picture category. I think it's better than the film that won, to be honest. Significantly better. We're not going to go there.
That's not even funny. Yeah.
I know.
It doesn't. It's not even comparable.
It's not close. It's not close.
You're like, no.
I do think it's because I think there is a more complicated racial message in the modern era than there was looking back on the, in the past, right? Like, it's just kind of like racism,
It feels easy.
I know that's such a ridiculous thing to say, but you're right? It's like, it's so easy to just be like, nigger, get out of here. And you're like, all right, well, there you go, right? Like, it's not, well, you can't eat here. And you're just like, all right, well, fuck, I guess I'll leave, But this one,
it's this thing about like overt racism and like fucking covert racism.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like Green Book was just overt racism. Like, oh, we've all seen that shit before. We know 62. All right, whatever, nigga.
Right. Like I
don't like that movie. I really don't. I'm sorry, I just don't like that movie. Okay. Anyway,
but I think you're right. So like this movie deals with, I think, more of a layered look at racism. Racism in the modern era is very different because it's not just black people are discriminated against. There are moments in this movie where, you've got Collin and Miles, Collin black, Miles being white. Like, there's a weird discrimination against both of them in not so obvious ways. And like, they kind of, I don't know, like things are a lot more complicated, right? And they're more layered. And I appreciated that. And I think it helps that the two of them wrote it. So it's like you can write it from your perspective and I can write it from my perspective and then kind of put that together, right? Because my guess, and I don't know what their writing process was, but my guess is Daveed Diggs had far more to do with writing his character and his character's motivation, and Rafael Casal had far more to write on his, right? It makes sense. Like, what's the white guy perspective? What's the black guy perspective in the modern era?
And they're both from Oakland.
Right, and they're real friends, by the way.
Yeah, they're real friends. They're both from Oakland. They said it took it 10 years to get this made. So
wow,
yeah.
But look, I thought this was excellent. One of the better movies I've seen coming out of 2018. Honestly,
if this does anything for you, John Waters named this one of his top 10 films of 2018.
Nice. Okay, well there you go, and that makes kind of sense because Waters is much more of a like this kind of film guy than like big major blockbusters.
Also, Terrence might want to know that this was filmed concurrently in Oakland, along with the other big Oakland movie that came out last year, Terrence's favorite film, Sorry to Bother You.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Which one's better, Terrence?
Bruce Riley and them was kicking it on set.
Yeah, they were probably passing notes, and Daveed Diggs was like, yo, look at what this motherfucker is like.
Horse dicks? This is what we're doing? All right. I bet our movie works out better than yours. Which is funny because, again, that movie got a lot more accolades.
Like, that got a lot more accolades, a lot more press.
A lot more press? That's
not... this movie was in the theater for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I remember, by the way, I remember when we got a screener for this. And I wanted to see, because I watched the trailer. I was like, oh, that looks pretty interesting. I want to see that. And like, it didn't work out. And like, none of us could see it.
God damn.
And I was like, fuck. And then you brought it up and you were like, have you seen Blindspotting? I was like, oh, right.
I remember seeing the trailer for that.
Like, God damn it. Like, I did want to see this. Look, I thought it was really good. I think it has a lot to say about some pretty serious topics. I thought the acting was really good.
Yeah.
Look, Micah's right. Daveed Diggs that dude's a fucking star. I liked the moment towards the end that was very Hamilton-like, which his confrontation with the cop is very much how Hamilton goes, right? Like, it's very similar to that. And he was in Hamilton for a while, so that makes sense.
There is an alternate ending to this movie that they decided to cut. We'll get to.
Okay, I'm interested to hear what that is. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was excellent. More movies like this, please. Like, yeah, more movies like this. I think, I'd asked in the fan group, blackandblackcinema.com/fans, like, okay, people were really understandably upset that Green Book won for Best Picture. But I said, what are some films that you'd like to see more of that deal with, racism, like that work? And I made the joke. I was like, Terrence, you're not allowed to say Rosewood. But movies that handled it well. And I think this movie handled it well because at the end,
I think the overwhelming majority in the group were like, yeah, this movie was great.
Yeah.
Everybody that saw it was like this.
Yeah. Because I think the movie handles race and race relations, especially between black and white folks, in a way that doesn't shy away from serious topics, but it also doesn't. Like, the ending to me made more sense than an ending that would be in most movies, which is they part ways. You know what I mean? Like, that's not really how life is. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you got a shitty friend who doesn't do everything right.
Not like the internet.
Brothers fight, yo.
That's exactly right. Brothers fight, and then you hopefully change because of those fights. Not the fundamentals of who you are, but you change at least some parts of who you are, and then you move forward. And that's what I liked about it. That's actually the ending was something that I liked the most.
Yeah.
Is that felt more realistic than you're canceled, and then they walked off in separate directions.
And then block and then forget you, fuck you forever.
Yeah, just ghosting each other. I'm like, that's not reality, although that seems to be reality for some people. But that's one of the things I thought was the most powerful part. So, all right. Yeah, I think we all liked it. So that's this should make for a boring review. So the movie opens with Collin, played by Daveed Diggs, who has only 3 more days left on his probation, which had been a year long because he had been in jail for 6 months. The film opens up with him and his best friend Miles, played by Rafael Casal, sitting in a mutual friend's car. Now, look, I didn't realize how funny this movie was also going to be. And that's also another bonus to me. It mixed the fun with the serious very, very well.
Yeah.
And so they're sitting in their friend's car, and this guy's got like guns hidden all over this car. And Miles, the hothead white guy, was like, "Yo, let me buy this gun off you, real quick, And of course, Collin is sitting in the back. He's like, "Look, I got 3 days.
What are you doing?
Like I wasn't involved in any of this shit." And so Miles, of course, buys this gun. And they get out, and he's like, "Yeah, I got an Uber." The guy's like, "Yo, I got an Uber customer to pick up." And they're like, "This is a fucking Uber?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm trying to make money whichever way I can." And they get out, and this guy is in a Cadillac with arguably 40-inch rims. That shit was hilarious. And that's the Uber he drives around.
Well, before that, they went to a place called, what was the name of the restaurant?
I'm getting to that.
Quick Way.
Yeah, I was getting that. So they leave their friend and then they head off to head over to Quickway, which is like a local burger shop or whatever. And it's funny because it's this weird mix of people. It's like people outside, like DJs, and like people like crip walking and shit. But it's also like a vegan burger place now. And Miles gets really mad because he finds out that in order to get a regular hamburger, you have to specify instead of getting a vegan burger, which is funny.
Get out of my face,
Yeah, don't.
If I go to a burger joint and it doesn't say vegan, and you give me a vegan burger and I have to ask for meat,
the default
fight.
Yeah, the default has to be beef, unless it's like vegan Johnny's. Like, okay, then I understand. But that plays to the whole idea of gentrification, right? Which is like Miles often calls people who are not born in Oakland who have kind of come there as he refers to them as transplants, or hipsters, which is another word. And so then Collin drops Miles off at home, and he stresses that he doesn't want to ever know when he has the gun on him, just for plausible deniability, because again, he's got 3 days left of his probation. Of course, Miles doesn't take that seriously, and then Collin heads back to his halfway house that he has to be in by 11 o'clock because of curfew. On his way home, he's sitting at a red light, and this movie is very stressful to me in some ways because there's so many times I'm like you think they play to this idea of like you think you know what's going to happen next, but they move it in a different direction, right? Because I was like, he's sitting at this red light and he's waiting for this red light. I was like, he's going to fucking run this red light and he's going to get pulled over.
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. And that
happens to me like 5 times in this movie, especially towards the end. I'm like, don't do that because X is going to happen. And then that doesn't happen, right? And I appreciated that about the movie. But it was very stressful watching it the first time.
That red light, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because red lights drive me crazy, first of all. Especially when it's 2 o'clock in the morning and that bitch is red for like 3 minutes. Like, you're no other cause. Ain't y'all on some kind of sensor, my nigga? Like, what are we doing? Okay.
You go out, just jump on the ground, hurry up. So he does not run the red light. He actually sits there. And even though he's in a rush to get home, right? He sits there. The light turns green. He goes to move forward. A guy runs right in front of his truck. stops in the front of the truck, looks him right in the eyes. He's like all exasperated and he's sweating or what have you. And then you see him run off, and then a cop comes running by, and you see in Collin's rear view mirror, you see the black dude running down the street. He yells, "Don't shoot!" And the cop who's standing directly next to the truck on Collin's side shoots him 4 times in the back. And then the cop turns and sees Collin see him do it.
Was the guy that got shot, does he look like Gaston to you?
Yeah, dude, that's you. Great value Gaston got shot in the back.
Great value Gaston got shot. Damn, that's a shame. I like Gaston.
That's a shame. I like it. He's not dead for real. But yeah, so the cop kills him, which was pretty brutal. But that's where the movie, that's in the first 5 minutes.
In the first 10 minutes of the movie.
First 10 minutes of the movie. So, the movie's like, ha ha ha, vegan burger. Boom, somebody gets murdered.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was not expecting that to happen quite that fast. Which, again, was a good, just as things felt, really easy and, fun, that's how life is, right? Everything is going well until something really bad happens, and then, you move on with your day. So then another cop comes and pulls up and he's like, "Get out of here! You need to leave." And so Collin drives home. Again, I thought maybe they were gonna start to harass him because he saw the shooting, and then he'd be involved with the police, and then he would possibly lose his probation. So he makes it home.
Let me ask you a question.
9 minutes after 11.
Let me ask you a question. Would you do something? Would you say something?
To who?
Anybody. Anybody that could possibly...
Of authority?
Anybody that could possibly do something. Would you go to the press and say, "This is what I saw"? Not even given his situation, just you as a person right now.
Yes. Me as a person right now, yes. Me as him, probably not.
Right.
As him, definitely not. As me, I don't know.
Yeah, that was...
It's hard. I mean, that's a hard question.
And that was what was the other movie?
The Hate You Give.
No.
Monsters and Men?
Same situation.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He films it and he's like, "Yo, I don't know if I should let this film out or not."
Yep.
And he did. And
yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, look, reality is cops are really not trying to have you dime them out for fucking murdering people. They're just
and they don't like when they when you fuck with them, Jesse.
Yeah.
16 counts.
Dummy. You're ready to throw that nigga in jail for 48 years.
He ain't going to 48 years, but he was like, don't do that. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if I would tell. I feel like I would, but
I like to think I would, but I don't know.
I don't trust the cops.
Again, I'd like to think I would. I think that I would, but I also would be fucking terrified. 100%.
Yeah, because they'll find something.
Yep.
I ain't got nothing, but
you got something.
All right.
You got something. They were like, "Look, we checked your internet history. I think I heard that you might have downloaded a movie. This guy's a crook." Right. They throw an old picture of your ass up there, looking all shaky to be like, "Yo, he did it. He did it." Nah. Put my work ID up there where I look like a straight criminal. No. I can tell you right now, if I ever get in trouble with the police, just know that that's the picture that's going to be put up. And I didn't do it, but it's going to look like I did. That image, I look mad guilty. Holy shit. So yeah, that was, this is kind of a big deal, right? And obviously Collin gets home and he's freaking out.
Yeah, it's a halfway house and he has janitorial duties essentially at this point.
Yeah, which he's not really doing.
Yeah. More on that later.
Yeah. So the next day, Collin tells Miles and was it Miles' girlfriend or wife? I didn't catch that.
I think that's his girlfriend.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to presume that they weren't married, but Collin tells his girlfriend, I guess, about the shooting, and they seem concerned. But not really.
Yeah, he was like, "So I watched a nigga get shot last night." They were like, "Wait, what?"
And then it was kind of it kind of happens.
Is he dead? He's like, "Well, they shot him in the back 4 times. I'm assuming, yeah, he's dead." You're like, that's fucked up.
Anyway,
wait, what? Okay.
And it's not like that. The writing just was poor there. It was just I think that's just the reality of things, right? And it's just people being murdered by cops. So it was a Tuesday then, and that was actually really kind of unfortunate.
Hey, this is Jasmine Cephas Jones. She is the daughter of the dude from the tall dude in Luke Cage, the barbershop guy, the skinny dude, the skinny tall old guy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
She is.
Oh,
kind of fine.
Yeah, kinda. Okay. I mean, I'd go full board, but that's me. That's me.
I got learned that a couple weeks ago. I was like, wow.
I mean, there's another person in this movie who I found to be.
Of course.
I
mean, that's in your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, y'all know me for a long time. I was like, hey, I was like, what's going on, girl? I was like, let me see where your parents from. Okay, I knew. I thought I knew. I recognize your.
Like, hey, Val.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I recognize your people. Come on, girl. Come on, man. Knock it off. So look, I looked her up. I was like, so I'm Googling. Now there is an interesting conversation because Miles is telling his son, who's there, his young son Sean. He's like, look, you know, you got to say like you're the toughest guy, and you got to be a tough guy, and all this other stuff, which is a thing that we of course do to young boys. We think that it is a positive, but in actuality, it hurts them, right? Because the idea of not doing the tough thing in the face of a situation, a lot of times will get you, or doing the tough thing can get you hurt or killed. So
yeah, more on that later.
More on that later.
Yo,
that scene went from this is wildly unacceptable. Jesus Christ. I liked how that scene was played, by the way. Like perspective wise, I thought it was really interesting. I was like, you shouldn't have done that.
Like, and it's crazy because throughout the whole movie, like, what the fuck did he do?
Yeah, and then you find out you're
like, oh shit.
Yeah, this nigga deserved to be in jail for a hot minute. You need to cool off, man. You really do. So after that, once at work, they work at a moving company. We meet Val, Collin's ex-girlfriend. Look, Miles's dialogue is so fucking funny in this movie. Like just some of the shit that he says to people is hilarious. They walk in, Val is Indian. How you doing?
For all you fans of The League, she was Shiva.
Oh, is that the same actress?
Yep, that's her.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense because I was a big fan of Shiva in The League as well. Yeah, she's super smoking hot. Anyway,
so first I go to the corner store to pick up a green juice.
Okay, this scene is very funny, right? Because so they go to the corner store, or a bodega for you New Yorkers. They go to a corner store, and Collin is trying to like better himself. So he's like, right. I'm gonna get a green cold pressed juice, and the guy's like, he's like, how much is this? He's like, $10. Like, no. Like, I like a green juice every once in a while. $10?
Yeah.
Nah, you wild. And of course, like it's this weird juxtaposition, right? It's like you got this bodega that's selling these $10 cold pressed juices, but also Miles is like, yo, let me get a Lucy. You know what I mean? Like that shit was funny. I forget the term he used. A square is what he says, but yeah, he's just getting a one cigarette. So it's like this weird, like old Oakland versus new Oakland kind of thing, right? And again, Collin is trying to like better himself. He's also trying to appear more mature in front of Val.
Yeah.
Right? Because obviously they broke up, and more on that later as to why. And so they go into the office. They see Val. She works at the front of the office, and Collin's lied to her because she's got like incense burning or something. He's like, he's like, have you worked out your he's like, did you get all the demons of your superiority complex out yet? She's like, and she has to say to me, he's like, no, okay, still working on it. Like he was just kind of a dick.
Yeah, he did not like her at all.
No, he did not.
A fan.
Nah, man. Like where is that line, right? Like you're dating someone, the two of you break up. But you trying to make it happen, but your homeboy is being, he's being like, he's doing the homeboy thing, right? He's like denigrating her for the, to boost you up type of shit. Like, where is that line? You'd be like, all right, you got to chill. Because when we get back together, I'm going to have to fuck you up over this shit. Like, it's like, it's kind of wild. I often wonder that, like, how do you play that one? You got to make sure, like, they're never going to get back together and be like, yo, she was
Ranch. Yeah, because it's not, you see that in like a sitcom. You know what I mean? But that shit don't happen in real life, yo.
What, just break up and then it's over, or break up and
like you ain't gonna be denigrating her while I'm trying to get together, and then I get together, and then y'all just gonna be like Martin and Pam.
No, that's not how any of this is gonna work out. Like, look, you see pictures of her? Like, I don't need you, Miles. Keep walking. Like, I can get another problematic white friend. It's fine. Be all right.
There's a ton of them in Oakland.
Apparently, god damn. So yeah, like Collin is like literally talking shit on her when they're all in the locker room, and they're like, yeah, she wants to go to school to make herself a better, more educated bitch. Like, you're just like shitting on her the hard as fuck. And Collin is he's just letting it go. Like, he's just like, whatever, dude. You're being an asshole, but like, no big deal. But I'd be like, take it easy, dog. Still trying to make this happen. As they get ready to go to their first job, they see a black kid on a bike doing a wheelie, and then you see a white guy on like an old-timey giant bike being a fucking hipster.
Nigga, the juxtaposition is amazing. Like, I've been to Oakland once, and
was it before it was becoming gentrified? Or?
It was last time I went to San Francisco.
Oh,
so and the area that I went to was transitioning, right? Because my wife has a friend who is a transplant in San Francisco. She met a guy in Oakland, and they kind of hooked up.
Is he black or white?
He's black.
Oh, okay.
She's like South Asian, I think. And they took us to this brunch place
in Oakland.
Yeah.
Like, gentrification is in full swing.
But then we went to a farmer's market, right? And then we walked around and saw the street festival, and I'm like, maybe I need to stand a little bit closer to them to make sure that don't nothing happen.
Yeah, because it's still Oakland.
Because it's still Oakland. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they were just talking about something that happened on the news where some motherfucker got shot or some shit. Like, I'm like, God damn, like, that's where we going?
And then you get there like, oh, they have cold pressed juices. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's a weird situation. Like, I've only been to Oakland once, and I went like when I was in San Francisco for something, and then we stopped over in Oakland. And we went to a Walmart to like get some things. Yeah, that was the worst Walmart I've ever been. Yo, I was like, what the fuck is going on? How many teenage moms are there in here? Like, It was crazy. So yeah, Oakland is
funny, man.
It's a weird. I think any city gets weird when it's like you're right in the heart of that gentrification. Like, they ain't quite taken over, and other people ain't quite left. Yeah, it's just like
Baltimore is not far behind.
Yeah.
No,
not at all.
Not at all, dude.
What the fuck is okay?
It's like, oh, there's a vegan place on North Avenue.
It's on Utah Street.
Like, nigga, people getting murdered right next door.
What's the fuck is that place called? Land of Kush.
Yeah,
it's just on Utah Street. Like right on the fucking corner, right next to Hip Hop Fish and Chicken.
Yo, come on, yo.
but you know what? You know what? No, but you know what? I hear Land of Kush is really good.
No. Yeah.
It's the most black thing ever. It's like, yeah, we vegan, but it's vegan soul food.
Yeah.
Like it's better for you, but it ain't that much better for you. Like, nah. We still gonna fuck your arteries all the way up.
But it's still vegan.
It'll be vegetables.
I mean, look, we still
vegetable oil is not good for you.
We still gonna cook all the nutrients out of it.
Oh yeah,
but it's just not a bunch of red meat.
Yeah, that's it. We ain't gonna put pork in the greens. Like, all right, well, then there you go.
Look, when they changed North Avenue's name to Station North,
it was a wrap.
I was like, yo, what is going on here, man?
Well, that's the first rule. Like, that's how you know if you wake up in your old neighborhood and your old neighborhood's got a new name. Yeah, nah, y'all niggas been gentrified overnight. They came for you. I mean, what was it like in New York? They have that one part of New York called Dumbo, down under the Manhattan Bridge overpass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying so hard that they were like, change all of this. Get these niggas the fuck out of here. Yeah, like, but those are Latin. What did I just say? All the same to us. Get them out of here. Yeah, so they go off to their first job. It's funny because Miles takes his grills out because he is a nigga. I don't care what color he is. But there is this like juxtaposition between the two of them. It's like Miles is really a nigga, and Collin's like he's a black dude. Like I'm just trying to get my life together. Could you please stop assuming that I'm a piece of shit? Because my friend over here is a piece of shit. Like, he kind of is. Although at the same time, I find Miles to be hilarious.
Yeah, he's funny. Like that dude. Like I haven't seen him in any interviews or nothing like that. But like if he's not like that, I'm gonna feel a little offended. I'm gonna feel betrayed.
That acting is amazing.
Like, he's really good.
It seems believable.
All right.
It seems believable.
Who would you rather? You can only have one, right? And I pose this to Terrence because I don't think you've ever watched Power.
No, I've never watched.
You can only have one white boy at the cookout.
Him or Tommy?
Him or Tommy? Who you pick?
Yo, Tommy's a murderer, yo. Like, I'll be a little afraid of that nigga, yo. So I might have to go with him. That's funny. A little bit.
Yeah, you know what?
Like,
that's some sound reasoning.
I love he's like, a little bit. The other dude's a murderer. But he's still really cool.
Like, he's fucking crazy.
Yeah, this dude's a live wire, man. Like, this guy got a vegan hamburger down there, burned the fucking place down. Like, this is a classic problematic white friend. So they go to an art gallery, and it's owned by Wayne Knight.
Yeah, they go to Wayne Knight's house.
Yeah.
The two pictures that they have where Wayne Knight says, "Nope, the two of them can't look at each other."
Yeah,
those are each of the main character's fathers in real life.
Oh, that's interesting. That's dope. Whoever did the photography for this, I'm assuming it is not, in fact, Wayne Knight. These are really good, by the way. They're excellent. And he talks about, which I thought was really dope. He superimposes trees over places in in Oakland now to show that like these oak trees grew there at one point, right? And sort of like the past and the present and the changing of the landscape and all that sort of stuff, right? Yeah, whoever did that, yeah, you're really good. Can I have some of these? Like this picture of the oak tree in the middle of the freeway is beautiful. Like it's a beautiful image. So he's showing them that, and he has Collin and Miles staying face to face with each other for like a minute to truly see each other. And after after like 15 seconds or whatever, Miles like jokes around to break the tension. And they don't take it super seriously, but you kind of get the idea that maybe Collin was a little bit. And to me, I guess that spoke to their situation in general, which is Collin slowly trying to see his friend for who he really is, and Miles just like not fucking taking it seriously. So, yeah, I thought that was cool. Also, it's cool to see Wayne Knight in things again. That's great.
Yeah, wasn't there a rumor that he died?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Right.
But people just
are trying to kill everybody. God damn.
Oh, and it was funny because I think he came out on like Twitter was like, "Yo, I'm still alive, dog. Like, what the fuck? Still around." Wayne Knight's a good actor. So as they're leaving the gallery, this part not only funny but actually poignant at a different point in the movie. They leave, and there's this like white guy who's parked in front of their truck.
I'd be ready to fight, yo.
No, I'd have grabbed the bag of his groceries and thrown them in the street.
Yo, get the fuck out of the way.
And he's just ignoring them. And so you got to picture this. Collin is in the driver's seat, and he's mad about it, but he's just sitting in the driver's seat. Miles leans over the driver's seat and does a thing that don't ever do in my car. Don't press my fucking horn. I'm driving. Don't do that. Shit makes me furious. So he just starts like laying on the horn. He's yelling at the guy like, has that ever happened to you, Micah?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. It's happened to me before.
Don't like that?
Before, I do not like it.
Because I'm the one that's got to fight it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I got to defend your honor because you're impatient.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, some 300-pound nigga get out of the car, then what's going to happen?
Right. All right.
He did it.
It's not my fault. I was just waiting. I was going to wait for you. It's fine. You could get back in the car. Oh, now that you're out, I'll just hit you with mine because it's my only weapon. It's fine. Yeah, so he's like laying on the horn, he's yelling at the guy to move and everything else. That becomes important later on as somebody I assume the same white guy calls the moving company is like, there's a black guy with braids and he was in the truck beeping and yelling at me and all sorts of stuff. And it's like there is no consequence for Miles,
right?
Because he's white, so of course he just assumes it was the black guy who did it. Again, I would have just grabbed a bag of his groceries and threw them. I'm nothing like you, Terrence. Shut up.
That shit would have infuriated me. Like, I'd have got out of the truck.
Yeah.
I
would have at least taken the phone out of his hand. I'd be like, can you please move your car?
I don't know if I'd have taken the phone out because he'd have called the cops on me. But I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of the way. Yeah. Like, move your car up so I can move.
Yeah.
Please.
Or, like, I always like to do I like to play to people's racism sometimes, in that I would walk close to them and make them very uncomfortable because they're deathly afraid of black people. I'd just be like, and it's just like, just keep moving closer, and you'd be like, all right. I'd be like, all right, we good, no problem. Sometimes racism can work for you. You only get like 5 of those in your whole lifetime before you just get fucking nightsticked.
That's how black people. That's black privilege. We can intimidate meek white people.
Yeah.
And white privilege is you could do anything you want.
So it's basically even. If you really think about it. I had a white dude tell me he was shorter than me, if that's even possible. He said to me, he was like, "Yeah, you're a large black guy." I was like, "Nigga," I was like, "I'm 5'9" at the time, like 160 pounds. What are you talking about?" But from their perspective, like, how? I don't know.
Like, that's ridiculous.
Like, if he was a little person, I'd be like, yeah, you're right. And be like, but like, no, you are barely shorter than me, and you're shorter and wider than me. I'm pretty sure you weigh more than I do.
And
but that's
like,
the
you're
mentality.
a large black guy.
Yeah, that's what he said. I'm like,
isn't it amazing what people see?
So what the fuck do they see when they see you?
That's just like
criminal.
But that's society. That's society.
Look at
like,
his hands.
Ingrained.
Just smash a small white man.
That's right, white man.
He's so tall.
Like that's society. That's society's images of black men just being beaten into you. And like, look, we joke around. Your average height for a dude, right, in America,
right? I am, which is like, but I'm somehow a large. I'm like, yo, I'm not Shaquille O'Neal.
Right?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Like, you went to another country, they thought you were Kobe Bryant. All right,
that's hilarious. Right?
Come on,
like,
yo.
Take it easy.
Well, one, you don't know too many black people. Two, I'm a tourist. You're just buttering me up, right?
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, Kobe Bryant sometimes visits other countries.
but yeah, like society has trained us that black people, especially if you're bald, and it's not a bald joke. Like if you are perceived a certain way because you're black, man, and that's exactly what this movie touches on.
Yeah,
that's precisely the crux of this movie.
Yeah, I mean, what was the? I can't remember his first name. It starts with a D. Something Brown, who was killed by the cop.
D'Lo Brown.
What's that? D'Lo Brown?
No, I was just making it.
No.
Damn it! What is his name? Shit.
There's been that many murders of black people by cops, which is sad. But that was how he was described. Now he was in fact a bigger guy, but like. Yeah, I remember the cop was like Michael Brown. Thank you. I wasn't even close, but he was described as like a demon and like all this, like he was just so big and all that. I'm like,
right.
Or he was just like some black dude, like that idea of like seeing us as being larger than we are, seeing us as being older than we are, and things like that are just. I mean, it's the crux of this movie, right? Which is seeing someone and using the stereotypes you have in your head. Even when you're given new information, you can't help but always have that thought process in your head.
Yeah.
Right? So more on that later, but that's literally the crux of the title of the movie. So from there, they go back to Collin's mom's house, and he sees this like little Asian kid in his house. And he's like, "Yo, did you give this kid my room? What the fuck?" And it turns out it's her boyfriend's son, I guess, and he's a little mad about that. And then Miles talks Collin's mom into giving giving him a box of her old flat irons. And then they go to a beauty shop and he tries to sell them all. But the thing is, Miles is like a real slick talking, fast talking guy. And so he has this really Spike Lee-esque moment, like you were talking about, where he's selling these flat irons to, was it Tisha Campbell?
Which was like, what? Okay.
Yeah, just random. Wayne
Random
Knight,
cameo.
Tisha Campbell.
Yeah, they were just like,
Okay.
who are 90s stars that aren't working? I mean, she needs the money.
Yeah, she does.
But she's having a better week than her fucking co-star. So, hey, do yourself a favor. Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Jesus Christ.
Mealy mouth bullshit. I wish I would stop. Just say you like R. Kelly. Just say it. Stop being a coward. Just say it, so we can dismiss your stupid ass. It's fucking dumb. So anyway, so he goes and he's like trying to talk all this bullshit. He eventually gets them to agree to want to buy all these flat irons, and they only agree to do it if they can test to see if they work. So the next scene, you realize that they've taken all of Collin's braids out and flat ironed his hair, and he looks damn ridiculous, but also luxurious. I'd like to think that's his hair. Like, I'd like to think they took it all out and they fucking flat ironed it.
No, I think that is his hair.
Yeah, I think that is his hair.
This nigga looks insane. Like, oh shit, some fucking crazy bone.
Look like a swole prince.
So he has to call Val. Collin has to call Val, his ex, to help him rebraid his hair. And so she does, but she says, "Look, I'll come over and rebraid your hair, but you're gonna have to help me study for this test." I guess she's going for like a psych degree or something. And so they're talking about a number of things. And they start talking about this thing called the Rubens vase, which is this image where you either see two faces facing each other, which is reminiscent of the moment they had at Wayne Knight's art gallery, or a vase in the middle. Right? The faces are white, the vase is black. But you can only see one of those things at a time. And whichever one you see first, that's your sort of initial view of the
I always
image.
see the face first.
So do I, yeah. And so did
I
Collin.
see the faces first.
What does it mean again? What does it mean if you see one or the other?
I think it's not one means one thing or another. It's just a matter of, because the image is both things, like you can only pick up on one thing first, right? And even though the faces are pointed out to you, if you see the face first, you will almost always, when you see the image again, you will always notice the face first, even though you know both things are there, right? Which again is sort of the crux of the story. So she's there and they're getting along, and you can see like they're they still have like this vibe between the two of them. Dumb man. You fucked that up. Anyway, trying to fast forward, guys. Trying to get through it. So then we see this pamphlet that Collin's mother sent over to give to Miles's wife for their son, and it was how to talk to the police type of shit. Which this is the new talk. Which is really fucking sad. Not just racism exists, but cops will kill you. This is what we have to teach our young kids. Just really fucking gross. Then there's like a really artistic scene of, Collin dealing with like the aftermath of seeing that guy get killed, and he's just sort of having these nightmares.
Essentially, he's having PTSD.
Yeah.
Because he just watched someone get shot in the back 4 times.
Yeah,
in the back.
Have you guys ever seen someone get killed?
I've seen, yes. Hit by a car.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Not a shot, but yeah.
I saw an old man get hit and killed by a car, which is really fucking disturbing.
It was like a 6 or 7-year-old kid.
Jesus.
Yeah, that sucked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking.
He ran down the street and got hit. He didn't make it. I was like, well, that's
how old were you?
Unfortunate. 12, 13.
Yeah.
Was it in New York?
No, it was out here.
I saw it happen right in front of my middle school. So
Damn.
I was around the same age.
I saw a girl get hit by a car. She didn't. She got dragged. That was in high school. Some dude stole her car.
Jesus
and
Christ.
she got dragged across the grass.
Oh wait, was this it? Yeah,
Ramsey.
I remember you told that story. That makes all the sense in the world.
And I was like, yo, this shit is bizarre. She never came back.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm like, but I don't know. It was weird. Like, no one's gonna make fun of you. You got hit by a fucking car. But yeah, she know.
They would make fun of her nowadays.
Hmm?
They would make fun of her nowadays.
Yeah, girl, you literally got dragged.
That's exactly what they would say, by the way. That's exactly what they would say.
I like to think of myself as very mature, but I'm also a giant asshole. So. Just saying. That's exactly. I mean, if I was thinking of a joke to say about someone, I'd be like, that's what I would say. That is really unfortunate. Let's see. Where are we? So the next day, I think he has 2 more days of probation left. The two of them, they have a job. They go to this old dilapidated house somewhere in Oakland, and this white woman is on the phone, some sort of real estate person, and they are buying this house to clean it up and flip it, thus taking a little bit more of old Oakland away. And so the 2 guys are charged to come in and like kind of clean the place up. And they find pictures. Collin finds pictures of like a black family and things like that. So it's clearly a black family has moved on from there, whether they've died or whatever, moved out of Oakland. But now most likely a rich, much, much richer white family will come in and gentrify the neighborhood further, thus losing a little bit more of Oakland. While they're at the house, they get a sailboat that was in the backyard. So they take that sailboat and they try to sell it. And Miles, through his slick talk.
Yo, that scene was funny as hell. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck these niggas are talking about.
Yeah, no, it was just like a new made up language. And so he ends up selling this sailboat to a friend of his or some guy he knows. And then he walks back over to Collin and he's like, what was he talking about? He's like, I have no idea. He's like, I just make it sound pretty. And yeah, so that guy buys this sailboat off of him. Then comes a scene that, again, went from, wow, this is really laughable and funny to horrifying, which is when Collin goes to check out at work, he's like getting ready to leave, and these 2 dudes walk by and they're like, oh shit, aren't you the bodyguard from that one restaurant back in the day? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, yo, let me tell you about when I saw this dude beat this guy up. And he's like, yeah, we don't really need to talk about that.
I would rather you didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Val is sitting right there. And then this guy, he rehashes the story of this hipster guy getting beaten up by Collin and Miles. And this is what got Collin thrown in jail. The story is funny because it's like, it's funny in the beginning because it's like Collin is like telling some hipster dude like, hey, you can't bring this scorpion bowl drink out. It's like this fruity bowl with like fire and all this other bullshit in it. And then they get into a fight, and then Miles gets up and like starts kicking the guy when he's down, and then they like both start beating up on him, and like they catch on fire because of the fire drink. But that's all like goofy and funny to an extent.
Yeah.
And then they show it from Val's perspective, who was there when she comes out and she sees Collin literally holding this guy down, who's saying, I can't breathe, as he's fucking punching the guy.
And he's on fire.
And he's on fire. And Miles, like they do an interesting job because like when the goofball guy is kind of telling the story, it's slowed down.
First of all, his telling of that shit had me crying. Yeah. Because he kept calling them all different white names.
Yeah. That shit was good. And it was like slowed down and goofy.
When he was mocking Miles, he was like, when he was mocking Collin, he raised his voice. And he was mocking Miles, he lowered his voice, and during the fight he was like, I hate my dad.
That shit was hilarious. The white dude sitting there, man, he was like so angry. And he's like, and I was just standing there smoking a cigarette.
I was like, wow.
This is crazy. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna quit smoking. So yeah, they kind of slowed it down and made it kind of goofy and funny. But then when Val's perspective jumps in, it speeds up to normal speed, and you just see this really violent moment of this poor guy like on fire as these 2 guys are kicking the shit out of him on the ground. And it's in that moment where I think she loses like all respect for Collin. And that persists all the way to the end, basically. So it was a really well done scene, but you totally understand why he went to jail.
Yeah,
Like you lit a guy on fire. Because I'm like, because they hinted at it earlier.
Yeah, they allude to it. Yeah.
And I'm like, did he say he lit a guy on fire? Or hipsters burn too easily?
Like, how was I supposed to know?
What the fuck? Did he burn something down? Like,
right.
It's not arsonist? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was a sort of a crazy fucking situation.
is that a real drink?
Yes.
It is.
I mean, I don't know it called the Scorpion Bowl, but those kind of things do exist, yes.
Doesn't seem too bright to me.
I've had one.
Is that a fire drink?
Yes, I've had one. They generally don't put, like, not all alcohol is flammable, right? Like, they're not putting, like, 151 in, which is literally a flammable alcohol. Like,
You might as well be fucking just rubbing alcohol.
it basically is. Like, you only use that to make drinks like flaming Dr. Peppers and shit.
Flaming? Okay. I don't drink like you do, yeah.
I don't drink like I did. Yeah, it's like a flaming Mo.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then I know what that is.
Oh, did I need to explain it to you via a Simpsons reference? Yeah, it's
I need things to be explained to me through cartoons.
Can you explain to me these adult situations through childish cartoons? Yeah, it was just kind of a funny situation. I'm just looking at it like it looks ridiculous, but yeah, like then when they speed ramp it back up into normal speed, it's just fucking horrifying. And it's because Miles basically pushed him into this fight, like pushed into getting way more violent than it needed to be. Like he could have just pushed the guy down, punched him a couple of times, and then just like, I mean, he's a bouncer. Like, yeah, I mean, that's what they do. They get joy out of beating up smaller people at a bar.
You don't have to pin them down.
And, just get the fuck out of here, kind of thing.
Just hit there with your bowl of cereal, and if a fucking hipster white guy approaches you, just give him a quick uppercut. That's all. And go right back to eating your cereal.
Teeth click.
Yeah, that footage is one of the most brutal things I've ever seen.
Like, can I give you a kiss? Like, yeah.
You know what? You can. And I'll tell you, I love it. Just like, wow. That was the stiffest fucking uppercut I've ever seen.
Mike Tyson uppercut.
And that dude was like, oh, that's a prank, bro. Surprised it didn't just shatter all of his fucking teeth. God damn. I said that to a friend. He's like, well, that was fucked up. I was like, no, it's fucked up. Stop fucking playing with people, yo. Look, lesson, white people. Stop playing, yo. Stop playing. Not every nigga out here is a joke. And that dude was not a joke.
He's a bouncer, yo.
Like
he's a cereal.
He's a bouncer eating a bowl of cereal. You know how much confidence you have to have,
right?
To sit there and eat a bowl of cereal at night in front of a club.
Yeah, don't fuck with that guy. Yeah, don't fuck with that guy.
Crazy.
That nigga's favorite thing is punching people in the face. That is his number one hobby. He just goes home and punches people in the face.
He had that shit down to a science where he did not skip a beat eating that fucking cereal.
He's like, hold on a second. Wow. I like to think it was just like a bowl of soup. like a hot bowl of soup.
Egg drop soup because he was sick.
It's like I wasn't feeling that great. Some wonton. Just a nice bowl of miso soup. Just something nice. Yeah, he knocked the shit out of that white dude, man. It's like, stop, look, everybody is not for play, man. Don't do that. Just watch your mouth. So yeah, he continues to tell that story, thus fucking it up for Collin. He's just like, I'm trying to make her forget this shit. Like, could you stop bringing it up? And of course, Val is, all that shit gets like thrown right back in her face. Because not only is Collin embarrassed, but I think she's also embarrassed by the idea of like being with somebody who is capable of that type of shit. And so she, when those two guys leave, she actually sees, like, she actually talks to him about like, look, Collin only came to see you in jail because he felt guilty.
Oh, Miles.
Excuse me, Miles only came to see Collin in jail because he felt guilty because he pushed you into that fight to make it far worse, and he didn't go to jail and you
He
did.
suffered no consequences.
0, which is kind of Miles's thing. He never suffers any fucking consequences because he is a white man in America. And she basically said, like, keep fucking with him and you're going to end up back in jail, or you're going to end up he's going to get you killed, which is not a bad point.
Right.
I would argue. And again, like, that's the reason why, that's the big roadblock between them getting back together, is she thinks that Miles is bad for him. Then we see Collin go over to Miles's place, hang out with his family, and his son Sean gives Miles a T-shirt that says "Kill hipsters, save the hood." But the T-shirt is mad small, and he's like, "Yo," he goes in the bathroom. He's like, "This T-shirt's kind of small," and they're like, "No, it looks good on you." He's like, "No, this is a tiny ass T-shirt." He's like, starts freaking out. That shit was funny. Look, you can't wear a medium or a tight shirt if you're not in shape. It's not a good look. It's just not a good look. Like, if you just like some dude who don't work out, don't do that. Like, it's not a good look. But when they're all joking about it, when they come out of the bathroom, the 3 adults, they see Sean, the little kid, with Miles's gun. And he's like playing with it and like literally pointing in his face. And I'm just like, good, please, please get through this scene, yo.
Fucking scene, like, there's a happy-go-lucky, and then they walk out, and it's like, yo, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I was like, ugh.
Yeah. That scene makes me very uncomfortable.
I mean, it's an old trick, but it fucking works, man. Like, oh, I'm just gonna disarm you, and then bam, hit you with some heavy ass shit, man.
This is like the new jump scare.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then they eventually get the gun away from Sean, and the girlfriend kicks him out. She kicks out Miles. She's like, "Get the fuck out of here! I can't believe you brought a gun in the house." And then she kicks out Collin because she's basically like, "You should have made sure he didn't do this. Like, you're the adult."
Like,
She was like, "Collin, is this your gun?" And he was like, No.
I was hoping. I was like, "Yo, don't
say it
don't
was your
count
jump,
that shit, my
man.
nigga. Like,
fuck
please.
that."
You got a day. You got like 6 hours left.
Nope.
Don't do that.
Is this your gun? No, it is not. Your husband or boyfriend is fucking wild. Does it look like I would have it? But I did find that interesting, though, that a black woman, even with all the shit that goes on, that all the shit that you know, she even assumes that it's Collin's gun.
Yeah.
Like, you know your fucking boyfriend. This nigga is crazy.
Well,
He's so fucking unstable. I'd be like, "No, I know you brought this gun in here."
in her defense, he did grab the gun from the kid. You know what I mean? He was
Yeah,
the one, he was
okay,
the
that's
one
what
that
I
initially
grabbed
grabbed it. So and she's not thinking right. Like, she's worried about her son. It's like, "Yo, is that yours? Like, what the fuck you grab it for?" Because I know my husband wouldn't be so fucking stupid to bring a gun in the house.
Turns out.
Right.
Turns out.
And I'm real. It really pissed me off that Miles didn't, when she questioned Collin, Miles
jumped in.
didn't immediately come and say, "No, it wasn't his. Look, it was mine. I'm sorry."
Right.
Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, Miles is a nigga. Like, he is, yo. He is. I mean,
Yeah.
because he was just like, "Yo, you couldn't have said it wasn't mine."
nigga.
Like, what the fuck?
Yo, I don't have to fight that nigga. Yo.
Nah, we done fought in the street. We done fought in the street right now.
Yo.
Yo. Again, brothers fight. Like, we got to
Yeah.
fight right now. Like, nah, yo, I'm not copping a no gun. Fuck that. Nope. Mm-mm. So they both get a text about a party, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna go to the." Collin goes with Miles. He doesn't really want to go to this party, but Miles is like, "Look, we going to this party," and I guess they call an Uber, and their buddy with the fucking 40-inch
kept
rims.
getting this text throughout the movie.
It was a number of parties.
Yeah. It was like, was it?
Yeah, there were different parties that they kept going, nah.
But it's the same people throwing it. What
Yeah, I think
like,
so.
it's
I
this
think it was the
person's
same people
friend.
throwing
Like, y'all want to go to this? He's like, nah, man.
So they decide to go to this party, and they were like, "Yeah, it's the guy who runs Pandora," or some shit like that. It was like he was like, nah, this party is not going to be like crazy at all. But surprise, surprise. So their buddy with the crazy car, Uber, he pulls up, drives him out to this place. And it's like super lame. Everybody's wearing like suit jackets and shit. And again, this is like New Oakland versus them. Meanwhile, Miles is wearing the "Kill a Hipster, Save Your Hood" t-shirt. So they're walking around, and Collin runs into some people he knows. The only other black woman or the only other black person in a fucking 20-mile radius, and her friend. There's a white guy playing acoustic guitar, which. There always
look at
is
this house between the two houses that's on the block. That's the that shit is so weird.
Yeah, this like super modern house.
Yeah,
and
it's like the old school houses between like.
I do like the modern house. It's dope.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, it looks silly. Yeah, it looks silly. So while Collin is kind of chopping it up with these two black people, the black dude ends up meeting Miles, and he's like, hey man, you don't have to act like ghetto in here, and like, oh shit, you got grills on, like you don't have to pretend like it's cool.
He's looking at the quick way that they have catered, and he's like, yo, quick way don't cater.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? And he hears him talking.
Yeah, and so then this is like I wouldn't categorize it as racism, but I would categorize it as prejudice. Like he assumes that Miles is bullshit, right? Like that he's faking that personality to seem more black or to seem more down or whatever. Like, nah, yo, that's Miles' personality. Like, because again, Miles is a nigga. Like he is.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that.
He doesn't know that, right?
Yeah.
And so
a room full of these motherfuckers.
Right, exactly. And so then he walks away, and the black dude comes back and he's talking to Collin. He's like, yo, I met this white dude. This white dude's got grills and like all this shit. And so
at first Collin is like, yo, that's crazy, yo. And then he goes back and he's like,
oh no.
Shit. And he's like, fuck.
And then he sees the fucking fight like pop off, right? Before he can kind of jump in between them. Because immediately Miles gets pissed and he
pushed the shit out that nigga.
Yeah, he pushed that dude down. He was ready to fight from the second he walked away the first time. He was just getting fucking amped up. And so he pushes the dude down, which was a solid opening salvo to the fight. So they leave. Collin gets him the fuck out of there, and then the black dude comes out. He's like, "Hey, white boy!" And then they start to fight. Immediately, Miles dropped that dude straight first punch. And so they're fighting. At one point, he's got Miles down, but Miles has got a good defense. Takes a lot of shots, and then he punches the black dude in the face, and then he proceeds to beat the brakes off of this black dude. And does something I just am not okay with in a fight, slamming someone's head against a car, yo.
Yeah, that's some kingpin shit, yo.
Yo, you can't do that, my nigga. Like, you can't, yo.
I mean, look, ain't no rules in the streets.
Nah, yo, come on, yo.
Well, come on, yo.
Like,
let's calm down.
Wait, what was worse, the slamming his head into the car or the knee? Or the knees to the face?
Look,
beat the shit out of
I feel as though
I think the knee is a little bit worse.
The knee is worse. The knee is worse. It is. The slamming the head into the car is just disrespect.
Right. Okay, fair enough. I'll take that. Like, yo, the knee, he was down. Yeah. Like in UFC, you can't hit a guy whose knees are on the ground and you're standing. Like, you're not allowed to do that. That's professional fighting. And like when he kneed him, I was like, oh, and he grabbed his head. I was like, no. but at the same time, I was like, that's the way to finish it. God damn. I mean, he gonna remember that shit. Like, yeah, be very careful on who you pick a fight with. Very careful. Talking all that shit on the internet. So you don't know people, man. You really don't. But yeah, that last thing was as you say, was very disrespectful. And then the white guy who's running the party is like, "Hey, you guys need to get out of here. Just get out of here." And then Collin is like, "And go where?" Like, bitch, this is Oakland. Like, this is where we live. And he, of course, pulls out his gun because this is why crazy people shouldn't have guns. Because when you have a gun, like it's like a hammer. Every problem is a fucking nail. And so he immediately pulls out a gun to scare the shit out of all these white people, which I mean, I can partially understand.
Worked.
Yeah, I can. He starts firing the gun into the air. Hey, look, that probably feels pretty good, right?
Just letting off that.
Like, no, just like scaring people, right? Like, I get that. Like, I get it. I'm not condoning this behavior.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just,
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Like, if I was in his situation to scare those people, like, I get it. Like, sometimes you gotta bust off. Like, whatever. I would never do that. That doesn't sound like me, but I don't own a gun.
Yeah, I don't need a gun.
No.
I really don't need a gun.
What was that clip of 21 Savage? It was like nobody in Gotham, and it was like Batman, and he was just like, I don't need a gun. I'll fight any nigga here. That shit had me roll. Like, yo, nobody said anything. Like, nah, I'll fight all of them. No, nobody want to really fight. Like, relax. British citizen 21 Savage. So then like a real heavy crux of this film is as they're walking away, as Collin finally wrestles the gun out of Miles' hand, and they're actually walking down the street, and they get into like an alley, and they're yelling at each other, which, by the way, this is where I assume the cops would pull right up. Because a white guy and a black guy yelling in the street is definitely going to get both of you, or definitely the black dude, shot. And this is where he basically calls Miles out, and he's like, yo, he was like, for all the shit, that people think of me and like assume about me, it's like, you are the nigga that they are looking for. Like, it's not me, it's you.
I haven't seen Green Book yet, but
there's not a scene like this.
I would imagine that this scene speaks more about race relations and is better than all of Green Book.
Yes.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
All right. Well, we don't need to do it then.
We really don't.
Oh, no, but I think we do. Only because you're trying to desperately avoid it. And I don't give a fuck what your wife say. I'm going to find out what date you're free. I'm going to make sure that's the date. Oh, no, I'll be like, I'm going to call him like, what's he doing right now? Oh, he's sitting at home. Bring your ass. Let's watch this best picture, the best one they could think of.
This was amazing.
This is a great fucking scene.
Yeah, it is. I was blown away at this scene, at the performances, and this is wonderful. This scene made the movie for me.
Yeah, I mean, but it doesn't just deal with the obvious, like, you are the stereotype that they're looking for, basically, is what he's saying. About violence and, just an unsafe person. Like, Miles also makes a point that I thought was pretty salient, which is like, Collin, you are like this, actually is a larger black dude, not like me.
He's what he essentially wants to be in this particular neighborhood. Like, he's a white dude in Oakland,
right?
But he grew up here,
right? So
he always had to try to prove to everybody else that he's essentially a nigga. I'm down with y'all, right. But like, you don't have to do anything with that. You're just you. And I'm like, but do you really want that?
Right. But that
like, what is this? It's the weird juxtaposition. Like, yo, you don't really want this, yo.
Yeah, you think you want
you think you want it, but like, again, we beat the shit out of this dude. I went to prison,
right?
Not you. I did.
Yeah, that's the reality of shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's not fun. It's not fun in games.
Yeah,
because it's. I mean, it's that everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. Idea.
I was just about to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Paul Mooney nailed that shit.
Yeah,
like, that shit was true.
He really did. And he's like, yo, say it. And Miles was like, what? Say it. He's like, say what? Like, nah, I don't say that. He's like, why not? Why does it go cool for me to call you a nigga, but you can't call me a nigga?
Right.
He's like,
well, because it's disrespectful. Exactly.
Right.
I call everybody, I don't fuck. But
right, but I mean, so do I. But at the same time, like, it's a salient point.
Yeah.
It's a salient point. And I like the idea of Miles. I feel like their name should have been the opposite.
yeah.
Like a white guy is
white.
Yeah, Collin's super white name. But like, I feel
they also may have done that on purpose.
Probably, actually, that's not a bad point. But I like the idea of them both trying to weirdly have aspirations going the other way.
Yeah.
Like, he's, Collin is screaming about Miles says, "Oh, they already know how to read you, exactly who you are." And he's like, "Yeah, that's the fucking problem, yo. I don't want to be what they think I am. I want to be this other thing, and I'm not allowed to be." Meanwhile, Collin is fighting desperately to be this thing.
Judging the book by its cover.
Yeah. And Miles is upset that they're judging him as like a totally fine guy and safe.
They're upset that they're reading his book.
But I mean,
essentially, they're judging both by the
it's just both by the
He's just a white dude,
right? Because he's not a safe.
nigga.
He's not a safe guy at all.
No, he's a psychopath.
Of the two people in this movie, I would much rather be friends with Collin than Miles. No, you want to hang out? No, Miles, I do not. No, Collin, you cool? Like, yeah, let's go get a vegan burger and the green juice. We gonna be all right. Nah, fuck all that. This dude's like, yo, let's go buy guns, nigga. That is not me. I mean, I would throw a person's head against a car, but it's a different situation. Talk shit, get hit. But yeah, it's I thought this was. I agree with you. This made the movie for me.
Yep, this was it.
Really, really good.
And now you know why the fuck I'm so mad that Green Book won Best Picture.
This should have been in the fucking list.
Yo.
Yeah, man.
Like I saw this movie first, and I saw that bullshit. I'm like, yo, come on, dog. That's offensive.
They already knew how to eat fried chicken in this movie.
Yeah, this movie's great, man.
Yeah. I mean, look, it not winning Best Picture is one thing. It not even being nominated, I think, for nothing. I think that to me is the even bigger snub. But so after that big thing, they sort of separate and they're, walking their separate ways. And look, this is the thing that drives me crazy about movies. Sometimes in movies, people do things that don't make sense. If I just got into a fight with a friend of mine and I got one more day of probation, here's what I'm not doing. Walking around with a fucking gun.
He probably forgot.
No, nigga. I would not have forgotten. No.
After the fucking argument you got into with your homeboy?
He got a sweatshirt on. That shit is like touching you. No. This nigga don't have no big triple fat goose jacket on. You forgot? No, yo. No, yo. I would not have forgotten that. I would have emptied the bullets out, and when they were near that warehouse, I would have thrown that bitch on the roof and walked the fuck out of there, yo. No. I'm not carrying a gun for you. This dude just bust shots off in front of a rich ass person, the guy from Pandora. I don't know if it's the bracelet people or the music people. Their house. No, they looking for you, yo. Nah. There was a crazy white guy bleeding from the face and a black dude with plaits in his hair. Nah, yo. Nope. I'd be like, fucking toss that shit immediately. Gone. Oh, did you pay $300 for it? Well, your $300 is gone, nigga. Bye. Nah, fuck all that. So he's walking down the street and then he remembers that he has a gun on him. Nope. And then the cop never gets out of his car, but flashes the light on him, and he turns towards the cop, and then the cop just drives away. Nah, it's horrifying.
Yeah.
I thought this was where he was going to get arrested and thrown right back in jail. I was really, really going to be mad because then Miles gets to go home and bang his hot girlfriend while your boy goes and sits in jail for another 3 years on a weapons charge. But luckily, the cop drives away and spares him. Miles goes home to his girl, and his face is all fucked up, his hands all fucked up, and he said, "Oh, I got into a fight." And she explains why it was such a bad idea to bring the gun in, and how she could have seen that situation coming a mile away. That's why she doesn't want guns in the house. Turns out, and she has this conversation with him, which I thought was really poignant. She's like, "Were you scared when you saw our son with a gun in his hand?" He's like, "Yeah." Yeah, nigga, that's why I don't want guns in the house. What do you think's gonna happen? You're careless as shit. Get out of here. So she forgives him, probably for the 1,000th time in their relationship. Then we get a phone call. Collin gets home. He calls Val, and he says, like, they discuss the Reuben vase again. And she explains that she's using a pneumatic device of calling it Blindspotting, because it's a matter of seeing something for the first time and just having this sort of bias towards one view, even though you know all this other stuff about this image or this person, but you can't let go of that bias.
Right.
And then he asks her a really poignant question, which is, when you see me, do you see the fight first before you see anything else? And she didn't immediately respond, no, that's not what I see. And so he, I think rightfully so, assumes that yes, the fight is what she sees, which is why she can't get back with him.
Right.
Because she sees him as this like brutal, horrible guy. That's kind of sad, actually. Like that one thing in his life forever will define him for her, and probably throughout his life anyway, because he's a convicted felon.
Yeah.
But that's how society works, unfortunately. And now you'll never know the delights that is Shiva Kamini. Yeah, she is so very attractive. So the next day, Collin is running through a cemetery. Just as a side note, Micah, you are a runner. This guy jogs for real. Like, he didn't just do this in the movie, because he actually looks like somebody who knows how to run.
Yeah.
Versus like a goofball guy.
Versus
Ezra Miller.
Right.
Like a fucking marionette on a treadmill.
Right. What are you doing? Yeah, this guy actually jogs. But yeah, he's still having visions of seeing the cop shoot the kid or shoot the guy. He also sees just black people in all black in his mind in the cemetery, standing over all these graves, right? And he's just kind of dealing with that. Then he gets to Miles's house to pick him up, and Sean comes out, the little kid, and he brings him a green juice. And that was clearly like a forgiveness kind of thing that Miles is trying to lay the groundwork for apologizing for the night before, right?
Well, the olive branch thing.
Yeah, I get it. Don't ever use your son to get back in my good graces. Ever do that.
No. If we ever fall out, that's it.
Yeah, no.
We're done.
Yeah, cancel. Like 100%. 100% cancel. You get one. You get one. We've never had an argument.
No, because I'm incredibly patient.
Go fuck yourself. That made my back hurt. I keep laughing so hard. That's fucked up. That's really that's fucked up. I'm incredibly patient. Fuck you. That's a good response. That's a good response.
But no, but that's why we've never had a fight, because
I don't know. Like,
we don't take shit too fucking seriously like everybody else, man.
No.
Some shit just isn't worth it.
Yeah, I'd be like, I don't agree with that. All right. Get the bread out of the oven. Who gives a fuck? Like, it's not that serious.
Who gives a fuck,
Yeah, like, I feel like things that end friendships is like, yo, nigga, you got me locked up. Like, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm just tired of seeing you. Like, that's definitely one.
Yeah.
Just move. But yeah, or like somebody, I don't know, you sleep with somebody's girlfriend or some shit. Like,
And even then, unless it's your wife, like,
I'm gonna knock your fucking teeth out of that shit.
yeah.
No, like, we gonna get a divorce and I'm gonna beat you with a shovel. Like,
Yeah.
These two things can happen in whatever order. Doesn't really
Right.
matter. No, but somebody gotta get hurt. I'm not allowed to hit her. Wouldn't even do it. Wouldn't even think about it. But you gotta get fucked up.
Yeah.
Somebody gotta get fucked up over that situation. I don't think that's unreasonable, right?
No, certainly not.
I don't think that's unreasonable. If you found out some dude slept with your wife,
Now we got to fight.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, again,
Somebody got to die, yo.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, yo. Somebody's got to die.
Yeah.
Look.
You're the patient one? Oh, okay,
Again, I just say we got to fight.
All right,
nigga
well,
said
we're
you
just
gotta
not going to
die.
stop. We're not going to stop fighting. It'll be like a good wrestling match. Fight forever. Because that's what we're going to do.
Like, somebody got to.
I'm going to beat your ass till I get tired.
Right. That's it.
Yeah.
Would there be a car door involved?
I'm going to go miles on your ass.
Throwing somebody against a car that's fucked up. It's like really fucked up. Again.
Yo, if I was a car owner, I'd be like, you owe me some money, my nigga.
Like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah, then I would have to fight.
Then you would also jump into that fight.
Yeah, if it was my car, like, and he threw his head into my car, like, yeah, I think I have to fight that nigga now.
Damn.
Like, for real. Like, this ain't your shit, my nigga. Like, yo, respect my property. Like,
The other guy's bleeding out of his head, like,
Like,
respect
yeah,
my property.
He's fine. Fuck that nigga. But you just ran his head into my car door.
Well, unless you had like a Saturn, because those are made of like Tupperware. They're like, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Nah, yo.
That was literally a selling point for those cars. They're cheap like plastic. Yay. Wow, I can't wait to not buy one. So then they have one job that they have to do for the day. And so they go to this house, and this woman and her son greet them. They're like, oh, there's a couple boxes in the house. It's kind of a divorce situation. But my husband is in there, so, just be aware. And so they start moving all this stuff out. And Collin goes back one last time because he forgot his jacket to get the last box. He gets it. He sees a picture of the family. Turns out it's the cop who shot the guy in the beginning. Dun, 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 dun. And he confronts him. And he
confronts him.
Yeah.
This scene, while the other scene made the movie, this was the cherry on top.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I was like, yo. I was fucking paranoid watching this scene.
This is another scene. I was like, yo, this nigga's gonna go to jail.
Look, me and my wife were watching this, and she was like, you see what's about to happen? I was like, nah. She was like, he don't have his uniform on, and this alarm system keeps going on.
See, that's what I fucking thought was gonna happen. That's
like,
exactly what I thought.
Shit.
I was like, they're gonna kill this dude. Right. That is exactly what I thought. But surprise, not what happens at all. So he confronts the husband, who's in like his garage or workshop or whatever, and the guys that caught shot the guy earlier, and he immediately recognizes Collin, and Collin immediately, of course, recognizes him. And the cop goes for his gun. He was like, "You're not gonna get me, nigga." And he just ran over to get his gun, and Collin pulls out the gun that he had from Miles.
Still has for some fucking reason. Like, why do you have it
again? Rooftop.
Like, you ain't forget a whole day, my nigga. Like, come on.
But why did he bring it with him? He was like, just gotta bust shots on somebody. He's like, I'm out. Like, no, nope. So he confronts the cop with the gun, and he's like, and he starts to kind of go into this, as he's confronting the cop is really upset because he's getting a divorce, right? Like, he's fucking sallow, and he's kind of sad about that. But then he confronts the cop, and the cop starts crying. Like, it was, I actually thought it was kind of a powerful moment. Like, this cop wasn't talking shit, or this dude was just he was legit fucking terrified, right? He was, because nigga, I might get shot. And as much shooting as cops do, oh, you don't like the other side? Yeah, I don't like having a gun pointed at me either. And so the guy from Can't Hardly Wait is really scared. And then Miles walks in, and he's standing there, and he's trying to talk Collin down, like he's the reasonable one in this fucking situation. Yeah. And then Collin starts confronting him, and we didn't talk about this too much, but he kind of does some little bit of rapping on the side, I guess. And he's always kind of freestyling. And he starts to kind of go into almost this spoken word freestyle kind of thing as he's confronting this cop. And it's from this idea of how he's seen, how black folks are seen, and how white people are seen, and how cops are seen, right? That's the crux of what he's talking about, and how it's unfair and fucked up and all this other shit, as he's slowly moving closer and closer to this cop with a gun drawn on him, right? And I was like, oh, he about to put full holes in this guy. That's just what I assumed. And then he gets closer to him, and he was like, unlike you, I'm not going to kill somebody. And he just walks away. Meanwhile, there's just kind of tears streaming down this cop's face, which was delicious. And so Collin leaves, and Miles is still standing there with the cop. And the cop says, through a shaky voice, he's like, I didn't mean to do it. And Miles's response I thought was powerful, which was, are you sure? And then they left. I guess shout out to the cop for not calling the cops and just having them murdered. Because if I was the cop, I would have been like, this nigga tried to kill me. I don't know him. These guys tried to rob my house. They stole it. These niggas are packing boxes and stealing my shit. I'm surprised that they didn't go in that direction. But I thought that was a quiet but interesting performance from Ethan Embry as the cop. And so they leave, and they're driving off to their next job. And that's where, again, take from a super heightened serious moment to Miles trying to bring it back to something a little bit lighter. And he's like, hey, so going to this, like, the ex-girlfriend of this football player in Oakland. So, like, hopefully get all your shit out, because I'm not sure that you could pull a gun on another customer in the same day. Like, I think you can only get one of those
per day.
one of those per day, or maybe even one a year. I don't know. Which lightened the mood, and you know, Collin was kind of, because he was there crying and saying that he wasn't okay, and so like it's kind of like lightens the mood of the situation. And then the sort of the last moment was, he's like, look, man, I'll do anything to try to like fix this, make it better, man. I will. And he's like, you want me to drink this fucking green juice? Like, I'll drink the green juice. And he's like, he opens it, and he's like, God, this smells horrible. He's like, I don't know how you drink this shit. And then he drinks and goes, not bad. And Collin's like, nigga, like, yeah, all your bullshit, like, you actually like this stuff. Which I thought was an interesting, kind of a funny thing. Of like, this idea of like, yeah, gentrification is bad on its face, obviously. But not all new experiences are bad. Yeah. Right? Like, so you can't just say, well, I only want the old Oakland and nothing else changing is good. Like, the world is a little bit more complex than that, and you can try to figure out where the right balance is. And then they kind of ride off into the sunset as they're going to the next job. But the ending is what I liked, because they, again, brothers fight. They can even have drag out serious fucking fundamental arguments, but they didn't just walk away from each other. Like, yeah, I thought that was important.
Yeah, you don't walk away from your friends, man. Like, that's, you know, it has to be pretty fucking egregious.
Yeah,
and just a disagreement. The fact that he's still friends with this nigga after he went to jail because of him. Like,
I'm not so sure that
right. That would not be me. It just would.
Nah, if you got me locked up, if podcast exists by the time I got out, I'd be like, I was assuming you find some other hosts. Nah, you know, like that's a testament to a different level of friendship. Look, I don't plan on going to jail, so like I can't speak on that 100%. But like, if you are the reason I was in jail, chances are I'm good.
Yeah,
don't come around here. Like, you gonna fuck my life up again. I mean, but he's all. I mean, not to say that Collin isn't partially responsible for himself going to jail. He also
he beat the shit out of the guy. He's a grown ass man, but at the same time, like, I go to jail and you don't. Yeah, I'm gonna be bitter about it.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely true. Any other parting words?
Yeah, the alternate ending that they were going to use but decided not to. Remember, he lives in a halfway house.
Yeah,
and he had the janitorial duties. They said the original ending was like he didn't do it, and they sent him back to jail.
Damn,
Jesus, yeah, that'd be fucked up. They were like, but that would be really fucked
like
up
after all this. Yeah. It was like, oh, yo, I'd be real mad, yo.
Nah,
like, I don't necessarily need a happy ending for a movie, but yo, I don't want to kick in the balls ending. God damn,
yeah, they were that's like they were like, yeah, the audience would be like, yeah, that's fucked up. So they decided to go with this ending instead.
Like that's like the alternative ending for Get Out. Yeah, where he's like, he goes to the jail. I'm like, no, what the fuck? They're like, oh, nobody handled it. No, but he didn't do anything wrong. Those white people had to die.
Yeah.
That's just fair.
Yeah, so he would go back to prison because he didn't fucking clean the bathroom. All that shit he went through.
I mean, look, it's kind of funny, but like, that's fucked up. Like, that's fucked up. Yeah, all the shit, the guns.
Because he had the conversation with we skipped that part, but he had the conversation with the landlord or whatever.
Yeah, the halfway
about
house.
In the halfway house about like, look, you don't want to go back to jail because you didn't fucking clean the bathroom.
That's a hell of a foreshadow.
Yeah. But they didn't. They decided not to do it.
I like this ending more.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that shit would have been funny.
They even had one quick flash of, because they showed on a chalkboard who did their job.
He did
day. Not. He did not. But the last day of his probation, or when he's a free man, he did clean the bathroom once.
Yeah, I don't like cleaning other people's bathrooms.
I like cleaning my own goddamn.
I don't. I've got Mexicans, brother. That's not true. They're from a different country. Anyway, I think that's it for Blindspotting.
Yeah,
I think it was thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Really good.
You can rent this on Google Play, I believe, right now, and I'm sure it'll be like rentable on Amazon and stuff in the near distant future. But definitely check it out. And look, if you just are still a person just like kind of buying movies, I think this is a pretty good one to own, to be honest. Yeah.
Like I said, I've seen it 3 times already.
I would definitely watch this again. I'd like to see more from the two of them. As far as writing, to see what else they can do. I mean, I've seen Daveed Diggs in. He was on Blackish for a while and stuff like that. He played what's the name's sister or brother?
Rainbow's brother.
Yeah, which makes total sense. Like he's like a snooty, like lazy asshole. Like he's just ridiculous, but he's very good. I actually like that guy a lot, and I'd like to see him and the other guy write some more stuff. I think they have a good perspective, especially coming from Oakland. I think is from that sort of gentrified, Oakland being a very, very black city for a long time, and now being a very all over the place city. I think they have an interesting perspective. So maybe they can remake Green Book in 5 years.
Yeah, the song at the end is them.
Oh, is that right?
Rapping.
Yeah,
him.
He's a rapper.
Yeah, him and the Rafael Casal
Interesting.
and E40 at the end of it. It's like, okay,
Is he from Oakland as well?
E40, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't tell.
No, I know he's from over there. I wasn't sure if he was exactly from Oakland. All right, that's it for us, and we will see you guys next time.
See you.
Take it easy.
You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.